Chapter 14: A People's Economy: Redefining Growth, Ownership, and Value. The crisis of our time is not only political or ecological, it is also economic. An economy built on extraction, speculation, and inequality cannot be reformed. It must be redesigned. Under state custodianship, we must build a people's economy, one that is based on dignity, shared prosperity, ecological limits, and democratic control. This chapter explains how we shift from corporate capitalism to community cantered, production based, and value driven economies. Economics. 1. Redefining growth from GDP to well being. Traditional metrics like GDP measure the speed of money, not the health of a society. Under custodianship, we must adopt new national indicators. Community Wealth Index tracks food security, access to housing, local business ownership, and cooperative employment. Ecological Health Score measures soil regeneration, clean air and water, biodiversity, and climate adaptation. Public Happiness Survey gathers community feedback on trust, safety, fulfillment, and equity. Economic success must no longer be defined by how rich the elite are, but by how well the poorest live. 2. Ownership from private monopoly to public centered enterprises. Public cantered enterprises. The foundational economic principle of custodianship is that strategic assets must serve all, not enrich a few. Key shifts include land, minerals, energy, and water infrastructure are placed under permanent state custodianship and leased democratically to users. Cooperatives and community trusts become the dominant business models, especially in rural and township economies. Expropriated monopolies, mines, banks, ports, telecoms, are reorganized as public interest companies, legally required to prioritize people and planet over profit. 3. Local production for local needs. A people's economy focuses not on imports and consumption, but on production for people's needs, locally. Strategies: launch local industrial parks for clothing, tools, electronics, construction materials, and household goods. Protect emerging cooperatives with procurement policies. The state must buy from local producers first. Subsidize worker owned factories, especially in underdeveloped provinces. Reclaim and reopen abandoned factories and infrastructure for local production. 4. Food sovereignty in township agri-economies. Food is not a product, it is a right. A people's economy feeds its people before it feeds markets. Actions: turn township and rural land into productive food commons. Cooperatives growing vegetables, grains, poultry, and livestock. Set up local food processing hubs to make bread, oils, dairy, and preserves. Establish community food stores and mobile markets, cutting out corporate retailers. Remove VAT and taxes on locally produced essential foods. 5. Reclaiming finance, the people's treasury. Under custodianship, finance must serve development, not debt and speculation. Transformations needed. Expropriate private banks and merge into a national people's bank, offering interest free or low interest loans to co ops and essential industries. Introduce community savings and credit unions in every ward, regulated by democratic councils. Ban or heavily regulate foreign currency speculation, extractive lending, and exploitative credit schemes. Create a public development fund sourced from strategic resource revenues aimed at infrastructure, youth employment, and climate adaptation. 6. The informal sector as an engine of renewal. Street vendors, artisans, recyclers, backyard manufacturers. They are not informal, but essential. Support measures: legal recognition and protection of all informal workers. Build marketplaces, warehouses, and storage facilities tailored to the needs of informal traders. Give access to microfinance, digital tools, and skills training. Form informal economy chambers in every city to represent and organize this sector. 7. Technological innovation for the people. Digital transformation must not be left to Silicon Valley or foreign multinationals. It must be indigenized and democratized. Implementation steps. Publicly fund and expand open source tech hubs in universities and townships. Train youth in coding, automation, AI, and robotics, and deploy these in local economies. Establish tech for people labs to solve real problems like water leaks, transport, waste, and learning, using affordable innovation. Prevent tech monopolies by banning algorithmic exploitation and digital land grabs, such as data colonialism. 8. Building a care economy. A custodial society must care for its most vulnerable. That means valuing and funding care work, childcare, elder care, mental health, disability services, as the backbone of a dignified society. Key policies. Recognize care work as formal employment with decent wages. Create community care centers funded by local municipalities. Train thousands in nursing, counseling, child psychology, and community development. Conclusion of Chapter 14. A people's economy is not a dream, it is a strategic design. It demands that we shift the entire logic of economics from exploitation to care, from extraction to regeneration, from monopoly to mutuality. When the land, the bank, the seed, the tool, and the mind all belong to the people, that is when freedom truly begins.